to the Curious Kid podcast. This week, we are getting curious about a topic that it's hard to imagine living without. We use shoes just about every day, and I couldn't even imagine getting through my typical day without shoes. For how long have shoes been such an important part of our lives? What were the first shoes like? Let's learn some crazy facts about shoes, past and present. But first...
Quadruple mailbag!
Quadruple mailbag! Hi, Jacob and Olivia. We are Amalia, 7 years old, and Dori, 5.5 years old, from New York City. We are originally from Israel, but have been living in New York for the past 5 years. We love your podcast so much and are proud to have been supporting it on Patreon. We would love to hear about shoes and shoelaces. We would really appreciate it if you could make an episode about it. We recently learned to tie our shoelaces, and we also love different kinds of shoes and want to learn more about it. Yours, Dori and Amalia from New York City, New York, and also Tel Aviv, Israel. Hi, Jacob and Olivia. My name is Claire, and I am 6 years old. I live in Orange Park, Florida. I listen to your podcast on the way to school with my mom and little sister, Olivia. I'm curious about candy bars, the Milky Way, bottles, parks, dolls, seaweed, shoes, and X-ray fish. My mom is curious about board games and water parks. We love your podcast and keep up the good work. From Claire. Hi, Jacob and Olivia. My name is Lauren and my brother's name is Evan. I'm 9 years old and Evan is 6. I would like to learn about clothes, gemstones, and hardwood. Evan would like to learn about video games, shoes, and cacti. We love your podcasts and would like one subject on this wonderful podcast. Thank you. Lots of love from Lauren and Evan. Hi, my name is Langston and I am almost 7 years old. My birthday is on October 10th, and the best presents ever would be if you could do an episode on the topic I suggested a few years ago. I am still so curious about shoes. When did people start wearing them? Who made the first shoe? How many shoes are sold each year? Please do an episode on shoes for me. We love your show so much. Thanks.
That was amazing! I love reading messages from our listeners. When 4 listeners agree on a topic for us to get curious about, how can we not take the opportunity to get curious for them? Getting curious about shoes was a shoe-in for a topic of the week this week. Let's learn more for Dori, Amalia, Claire, Olivia, Lauren, Evan, and Langston. Happy birthday, Langston!
Let's kick things off with the question of the week.
The most expensive shoes ever sold at an auction were from the movie The Wizard of Oz. In the original 1939 movie, Dorothy wears ruby red slippers. Those slippers sold at an auction in the year 2000. The question of the week is, how much did those iconic ruby red slippers sell for?
All right, listeners, it's time to hop into our time machines and take a journey thousands of years into history to learn about the origins of shoes.
Anthropologists believe that humans have been wearing sturdy foot coverings, not quite resembling the shoes we wear today, for over 40,000 years. I wonder how they would even know that.
Well, the answer is actually pretty interesting. Anthropologists examined the bone structure of foot bones dating back thousands of years. They noticed that the length, shape, and thickness of the toe bones changed pretty suddenly tens of thousands of years ago. Before shoes, the early Neanderthals had strong little toes that were good at bending and gripping different surfaces. After starting to wear shoes, the little toes had less work to do, so they lost bone strength over time due to evolution.
The oldest shoes that still exist are Fort Rock sandals, which were worn by the indigenous people that lived in the area that is now northern Nevada and southeast Oregon. They were woven sandals made of sagebrush bark. The sandals are about 10,000 years old.
For a long time, it was believed that fully enclosed shoes, like the kind many of us wear today, were a fairly recent invention. But archaeologists made an interesting discovery in 2010. They found well-preserved cowhide shoes in an Armenian cave that are estimated to be about 5,500 years old.
Lots of the shoes worn thousands of years ago were made with animal skin, as well as plant materials.
Then, ancient Egyptians wore shoes, and their shoes were made from palm leaves and papyrus.
The Romans then made an important advancement with shoes. They developed different shoes for the left foot and right foot. Until they did that, people were wearing the same shoes on their left and right feet, using the shoes interchangeably.
High-heeled shoes were first used by Persian horse riders, and they were used to help secure the rider's foot in stirrups.
Sneakers didn't appear until the 1800s. They were first called plimsolls, but the name was changed to sneakers because the rubber soles made them super quiet, allowing someone wearing sneakers to sneak around without being detected.
As recently as hundreds of years ago, every pair of shoes was designed specifically for each individual wearer. The first sneaker that was mass-produced for lots of people was the Converse All-Stars, and those sneakers were introduced in 1917.
A grain of barley was used to size shoes as long ago as the 1300s, and barley corns are still a unit of measurement used in Ireland and the United Kingdom today.
Almost everyone owns a pair of shoes, and many people own several pairs of shoes. When selecting shoes to wear, it's very important to select shoes that are comfortable and provide lots of support to our hard-working feet.
Wearing flimsy shoes that don't support your feet can be uncomfortable, but can also lead to painful problems over time.
One common foot problem that can be caused or made worse by wearing the wrong shoes is called plantar fasciitis. There is a band of tissue in our feet called the plantar fascia. The plantar fascia connects the heel bone to our toes. When it gets inflamed and swollen, the result is a painful condition called plantar fasciitis, which leads to pain at the bottom of your foot around your heel. I dealt with plantar fasciitis myself several years ago. My heels would hurt a bit when I first stood up to walk, and the pain was worse in the morning. It usually improved throughout the day. Thankfully, it only lasted a few months, and it's not a problem for me any longer. Well, if your feet are bothering you, the solution might be wearing different shoes that fit your feet better.
Another risk you take when wearing shoes that don't fit right is that you could lose balance and fall. For many of us, falling isn't a big deal, but as we get older, falling down could be more dangerous.
Wearing shoes that are too tight can also cause problems, especially if the toes don't have enough room. 88% of women occasionally wear shoes too small for their feet. Morton's neuroma is a condition you can get from tight shoes. The pain is felt at the ball of your foot.
Wearing high heels often can lead to back pain, so you definitely want to pay attention to warning signs your back might be giving you if you wear high heels.
If you are a runner, the right running shoes are important, but it's also important to change your running shoes often because they will lose cushioning and support the more you use them. It is recommended to change running shoes every 300 to 500 miles of use.
All right, folks, before we get to the question of the week, we have a goody two-shoes here to drop some serious facts on us. Here, with 5 facts you need to know about shoes, is Noah.
Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify is there to help you grow. Shopify helps you sell everywhere, from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms, and sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. What I love about Shopify is how no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Fact number 1. The biggest shoes ever worn belonged to the tallest man ever, Robert Wadlow. He was 8 feet 11 inches tall. His shoe was a U.S. size 37 AA, which would be a size 36 in the UK and the European size 75. They were 18.5 inches or 47 centimeters long. The most common shoe size in the United States is a size 9, and he wore 37 AA. Fact number 2. The little plastic tip at the end of your shoelaces actually has a name. It's called an aglet. The name comes from the French word for needle. Aglets were invented in the 1790s, so it must have been a whole lot harder to thread shoelaces through the shoe holes before they existed. Fact number 3. One of the most recognizable logos you can find on shoes is the Nike swoosh. It was designed in 1971 by a graphic design student, and he got a whole $35 for creating the now famous logo. No biggie, it's pretty much just a check mark. Fact number 4. About 25 billion pairs of shoes are sold every year. That's about 3 pairs for each person on Earth. Fact number 5. Get ready for this crazy fact that will knock your socks and shoes off. 1 out of every 8 people on Earth own over 100 pairs of shoes. That's so many shoes. Wow, Noah, those were truly amazing facts. I hope people are still amazed when I answer the question of the week, but you left big shoes to fill.
Olivia, the most expensive shoes ever sold at auction were the pair of ruby red slippers Judy Garland wore when she played Dorothy in the classic 1930 movie The Wizard of Oz. How much did someone pay for those ruby slippers?
Those beautiful, glittery slippers sold for an astonishing $660,000. You can buy a beautiful house with that much money.
I feel like spending that kind of money on a pair of shoes is crazy, but I've also heard that you shouldn't judge someone until you've walked a mile in their shoes. Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's podcast, number 274, on shoes.
Great job, Olivia, and great job to Dori, Amalia, Claire, Olivia, Lauren, Evan, and Langston for the episode topic suggestion that had us researching facts like gumshoes. Before we say goodbye, I just want to wish Olivia a very happy birthday. Olivia will turn 11 this Wednesday on October 9th. Join us next week when we will get curious about fairy tales for listeners in England. As always, thank you so much for listening and getting curious with us.
This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy. I'm cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes. And that's because I wear Bombas, the softest socks, underwear, and t-shirts that give back. 1 purchased equals 1 donated. Now go to bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/listen and use code LISTEN at checkout.